Dr. JayR McIntyre. We got a huge guest today, but thank you guys for tapping into my Motivators Table podcast. When we hustle, we aspire, we tell the stories of the dark days, we tell our stories on how we got to who we are today, and we tell our inner healing child situations. So today we have a huge guest come by the way of my best friend's wife, a licensed social worker, Miss Monica Reynoso. What's going on, girl? How you doing?
Hi,
You good? Good, good. How
you
you
again.
doing? How's everything?
That's great. Thank you
It's
for
good to
asking.
have you on here. I just want you to relax. I'm gonna guide you through this. This is a powerful conversation that the world needs to hear. I was impelled to put you on my platform for a reason, so you deserve to be here. So kudos to you. I'm not inspired by a lot of people, but I'm inspired by you. So that says a lot of what you've been doing in the inner work. So tell the world who you are, where you come from, and what you do.
Oh my God. Okay, so who I am. I'm a social worker. I work in a prison. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a stepmother. Um, from California, grew up in California, got married. I mean, there's a whole lot in between, but that's a hard answer to give because, to be honest with you, like I'm going to be 47 years old this year, and I'm not really. I don't think that I even really knew who I was
Right.
until I hit my 40s. So um, I know that I'm at the point in my life where I'm beginning to remember.
Right.
So I'll have that answer for you sometime down the road, a more complete one, an accurate one.
Definitely, definitely. Well, let me know how you grew up. How was it growing up?
Okay, so yeah, I grew up in California, Southern California, San Diego. I was a beach rat. I have two sisters. I'm the oldest. Came from a beautiful family. My lots of let's see. My grandfather was a pastor. He was a Navy chaplain. Had six kids. My mom was the youngest girl. Um, from the outside looking in, it was like the perfect all American family.
Okay.
Um, you know, so let's see. Um, found my way. Let's see. Found my way into the Coast Guard in
Okay, you was
my
in the
early
Coast Guard.
20s.
Let's talk about it.
That didn't last very long. I got married
Okay.
to somebody in the Navy, and that's what brought me to the East Coast.
Okay.
And so I've kind of just been on the East Coast for like the last 20 years almost.
Mm.
I finished college after I had my two boys, um, and kind of just through like work experience, I don't know, kind of slowly chipped away at figuring out like where I was meant to be. And let's see, married for 20 years, divorced, and now remarried, just to a correctional officer, your best friend. I am a LCSW in a prison. That's where we are now. So,
Well, let's
yeah.
talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Okay, which part?
I'm gonna talk about everything. Let's talk about how you was as a child growing up. What was your temperament? Who were you at your core? Who was Monica at her core as a little girl?
I mean, I was pretty easy. I was an easy kid. I always fit in, was, always part of the cool crowd, but like oddly now as I reflect back, like never really felt like I fit in, always felt a little bit different than everybody else, but
Hmm.
somehow was able to just kind of, cruise along, um, getting along with everybody.
Hey, That's a good spirit to have and a good characteristic to have. Just getting along with people and understanding. We both from California, so it's very gritty in California, and there's a lot of diversity in California. And I tell people, you step on one side of the block, you're in a different little state, little city. You don't even understand. So, kudos to you for marrying my best friend Cal and making him the happiest man in the world. Thank you for just getting on my platform. But I know you do a lot of interesting things. I know you do a lot of inner work with the prisoners. So we're gonna get to that. But I wanted to just tell you thank you and give you your flowers for being a licensed social worker and doing it for 15 years and being involved in these communities where these men, these women, these kids, these adults, we all need help. We all need talking to. We all need a type of structure, social work to try to help us point us in the right direction. I'm really loving the work that you're doing and starting to do in the correctional facility. So let's tell us, what are you doing now? Who are you at the correctional facility?
So, my job at work is so I'm a mental health clinician.
Okay.
Um, so what that basically means, like I carry a caseload, like the inmates at our facility. It's a maximum security men's facility, and it's kind of it's kind my our facility kind of has a reputation for being like the dumping grounds for all the difficult people that
Right.
none of the other facilities can deal with anymore, and so it's an active facility. And there's a lot of unresolved trauma. There's a lot of emotional and behavioral dysregulation, and there's a lot of people containing it in one way, shape, or form. And I
Right.
don't know, like part of what I'm doing now, like my work. Okay, so sorry, I have a tendency to go down little
No, no,
rabbit
it's
holes
okay.
here and there.
Listen.
Um, so like my job description is, carrying a caseload for the inmates within the facility who have some level of mental health need that requires like consistent support. So what that support looks like, just standard, is individual one-on-one sessions twice a month. That's minimum, and then weekly supportive group therapy.
Okay.
And so my caseload is, we've gone through some changes recently at work, and I'm one of the only clinicians there now. And we used to have a full uh, uh, staff of 5 clinicians, and we're down to 2 now. So, my caseload's quite large, and I'm a little bit overwhelmed by that, and so I'm doing my best. But the kind of work I've been doing with them has been really focused, like trauma focused and consciousness based. And so it's something that, like, I'm not an expert in it by any means. That's something that I'm learning and I'm embodying in my own life. And it feels like that's what most systems have been lacking. And so I am slowly figuring out how to begin implementing something that I in my soul know works without having fully mastered it and uh understood it yet. If that makes any sense.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. I first of all, I commend you for doing that, but also I see that you're continuing to do the work on yourself to help these men and women in these facilities. And I say that all the time on my platform. You can't help anybody else until you help yourself. And I see repeatedly you and your husband working on each other to make sure y'all give the best version of yourself to each other and to that prison. Every day you go there, you cleanse. When you come home, you meditate, you pray.
He
I
does
see
all
that.
that stuff.
Like, I see that
I
he do all that, but
accept.
but you do the bufo. You did the Reiki. You know what I'm saying? You those are the works too. He had done that too, but I see the household doing it. and I support you for being just his kickstand when he needs you. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember at a period of time of our lives when he has been through a few stints, and this last time, the last few times was worse, and he always just gives you all the credit and say, if it wasn't for Monica. So I think you're doing an amazing job, not only with the prisoners, but with your husband, because us as veterans in mental health and PTSD and TBI and all resolved issues and understanding that we just need somebody strong in our corner. So thank you for doing that. Can you talk about that too?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's it it's not just what I've done for him, it's what we've done for each other. And I feel like the timing was something that the universe had planned. Um, like both of us when we met at work. He's a CO, I'm a social worker, and um, we I don't sorry, I'm just kind of like mentally like going down memory lane. Like the way that it all played out was really quite magical. Like the place where we work it's such a dark place, but we met there, and he was talking about emotional intelligence, and I was just like, who the fuck is this guy? Talk, who is this guy? I haven't heard a dude talk about emotional intelligence since I was in grad school. And it was just like, and plus he's beautiful, so that helped too. But yeah, like we just started talking, and we were both like coming out of these terrible marriages. Um, and like I can't believe how aligned the universe was when it comes to like the timing of like how our lives intersected at that time and in that place, and how that's where it all began. And I mean we're still there now, but like what it looks like now and what we're doing together, it's um the purpose is so much bigger than just us and like our relationship with one another. Like I really, like we're a freaking force, dude.
Yes, I see that.
We're a force.
I see that, and I admire that too because every time we talk, which we talk all the time, multiple times, and every time I was just down there visiting you, you guys gave me an opportunity of a lifetime to go speak life into them, the prisoners. You and Cal. Cal was the forefront. It was expedited. Got in there, spoke to both gang units and even the staff. So let's give you and Cal a hand clap for that because if the reputation didn't precede itself, that would have never happened. So what I'm saying is it's all happening at the same time, mind, body, and soul, timing. You know, God put you and Cal in each other's path, and now everything y'all do from numbers, secrecy, everything. I love it because
I know it's synchronicity.
it's
I
kind of like I
know. I
was
know.
when I was there. It was kind of like I was like in the
You started
Avatar.
feeling it.
I was an Avatar. I was like
You were
you know,
starting to make all those little connections
yeah,
too.
yeah, definitely. You know, sometimes you think you're weird when you make connections like that, but Kyle and me has
Yeah, you're
always
weird. Like,
been
what's
there
wrong
trying.
with being weird?
I love being weird. I love that. I embrace it. Like, hey, you know what? If I don't fit in, I'm okay. I'm too big for the circle anyway. I'm too small. It ain't my time. But like I said, I love the culture that you guys instill in each other, and then you take that and you give that to your friends. You give that to your sons. You give that to your relationship. You give that to to where you work at. You give that to everybody. And we on this. I think all of us can agree we on this Dark Knight tour right now. If you don't like it, get out our way. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And we embracing that villain era. You know, and we talked about it
Yeah, yeah,
last weekend. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's talk about the villain area.
Oh
How
yeah,
you feel about that?
I am 100% in my like feminine villain era. Like I have so where this facility the facility where I work, I don't know what it is. There's a phenomenon about the culture there, but it has not treated me well. Basically, like this without going into detail because now there's some, legal things going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to like go into too much crazy detail, but like I've like had to deal with a lot of harassment, retaliation, and discrimination, and a lot of, as a woman. working in a male dominated workplace, um, toxic culture, it's like that has in and of itself just been difficult, but like when you add like the retaliation and discrimination and stuff like that, like into it, and it persistently, like low grade, but persistently over the course of 5.5 years, like you are ready to burn the system down, and like I'm that's where I am at. That's where I'm at.
Right.
And I've already gotten started, and it's like I'm visualizing like completely dismantling this corrupt system, because here's the problem. I'm at the beginning, I want to say, of what I would call like a very intense spiritual awakening, expansion of consciousness. So it's the the trajectory of how high and wide this expansion has been is it's like my nervous system and my ability to articulate and like put it to language, it hasn't caught up yet. So forgive me if I'm not able to fully explain or capture like what my experience recently has been like, but I have like basically like it stops with me mentality, and like I'm channeling some serious energy. I'm activated, I'm grounded, and I'm like I see it so very clearly. Like I see through this matrix within the matrix of DOC.
Right.
Um and so I'm ready to change it.
Right.
I feel like I'm the one that's supposed to change it.
And let's change it. That's how you do it.
Mhm.
Sometimes we feel like a lot of these systems are put in place to stay, and actually they are. But the newer generation like us, we got something to say, and you guys work there, and you guys are y'all are boots on the ground to see exactly what the system is doing to these young men and women in there. And like granted, a lot of them did a lot of things they wasn't supposed to do, but also they still deserve the help that they need. So when they do end up getting out of there, they can transition fine and rehabilitate fine and find their tribe and stuff like that. But if we can't present them with a good set of tools, how we expect for them to work or expect for them to work, right? And I know that you're doing. I don't know how frequently you do it, but I know you do these little sit downs and talks with these young men. And can you tell us about the sessions you be having with them?
Yeah, so yeah, things happen, people do things, but like it's about why, what happened. Like what, not like why did you do like, or I don't know, my labeling's off right now, but I feel like it's you have to get to the bottom of why, like what happened. it, Stop pathologizing and like get to the root cause of like where does this behavior come from? What is this the like the result of whatever kind of survival um strategy that this person has had to build up to protect itself from, so I don't know, like again, this is something that's like not fully yet. It's a developing thing that I'm starting to. It's a concept. It's an idea that I'm like learning myself, and as I go along, implementing what I learn into the work that I'm doing with them, because I just I don't feel like I need to be a subject matter expert at it just yet. Like this is fucking working. I know this in my soul. Like I'm cracking the code, and like I'm just gonna share it with you. Because honestly, like, all right, I'm going to circle back a little bit. So I had a conversation with one of the administrative people at the facility where I work, whom you know, okay? And it was the most frustrating conversation because I'm I'm dealing, like I said before, like the people with whom we work, like they are labeled as like like the worst of the worst. Like the inmates who are institutionalized, who are behaviorally out of control, who like assault, who get tickets, who, you know, make like they get sent up to RHU all the time. They were in that super not the northern facility that got shut down by human rights advocates. Like these are the guys that like came from there. And like these are the guys that are coming to my groups. I had 20 dudes, and this is what happened to me yesterday, okay? 20 dudes in my group, and the worst of the worst, okay? And we're 45 minutes in, and I run my groups in the chapel. Religious services lets me have that space on Wednesdays. So, so we're in there, and it is the best discussion, so thoughtful. People are helping other ones understand difficult concepts, and there's questions being asked that are genuine and like curious. And the subject that we were talking about is Christ consciousness. And what happens? All of a sudden, the freaking group gets raided, and like there's like 20 lieutenants and COs and the shift commander, and like they come in and circle our group, shake it down, shake every one of those inmates down one by one, and then shook the chapel down because they were looking for drugs. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. They were looking for something that they had gotten a tip on in my group.
Wow, that's crazy. That
Well, we're
is
talking about Christ consciousness. We're talking
right.
about metacognition. We're talking about naming how we feel so that we can put some distance between it so they won't react based off those like knee-jerk emotions that we feel. Rather than responding to them, we observe them. Um, so those are the kinds of things we talk about. And then my group gets raided, and like this whole thing, it was wild to me. And you know what they found on in my group, on the inmates in my group, and or in that room? Not one single thing. The
Not
worst of the worst.
wow.
Like, get
That's
out of here. And so later that day, I'm having a conversation with this person with whom I previously spoke of. um, and he names this one part because I believe, it's not just that I believe that these people aren't just like that forever, and that there are ways in which you can help them to heal and grow and move beyond the behaviors that were put in place as survival strategies in the first place. I believe that that can happen.
mm,
His argument was that the best predictor of the future is past history. My argument is, okay, well, that's true if we're going to only use the same conditions that we've always used, but that's doesn't make any sense. And that's
right,
what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do things differently, and um, nobody wants to notice.
right.
Because, and that's the thing, it's not just what I believe, it's the data. Like there's actual data. The worst of the worst guys. All right, well, let's name them all. Let's look at how many tickets they had prior to coming to court, or to, yeah, Corrigan, where I work. Um, and let's look at how many they have now in the time since they've been coming to my groups and, meeting with me.
Right.
The data is that there haven't been.
Right.
There haven't been any problems. They've
Mm,
been able to emotionally regulate. They
mm,
haven't assaulted anybody. There's been some like, heated moments here and there. And yeah, some have gone up to seg, and maybe some of them have slipped backwards and like drank Pruno as a coping mechanism. But
right.
like, I mean, I don't know, dude. I just feel like people are so committed to the programming that inmates are criminals, and not maybe the ones that were meant to suffer, because the ones who suffer are the ones who have the biggest and the highest purposes
Right.
if they heal.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, here we are containing them
Right.
rather than healing them
Right. We got to give them
and
opportunity.
increasing their awareness.
Right.
So, the way things have been the way things have been are not the way things they should be. And so, uh,
So tell me this.
yeah.
I know you have a plan. I can see your eyes moving. What can you give us a little snippet of what your plan is to present to the DOC so they can start having new classes and new things for these inmates? Can you share with us that?
Um, well, actually, honestly, I'm taking ideas from the inmates. I had some inmates approach me and basically ask me if we could create a space where they could do like a spoken words rap poetry group. Um, so a lot of the ideas are coming from them. Like, this is what they want. Okay. All right, well, let's start like developing something that would be able to help, or sorry, let's create a space where we can give that to them and like put guardrails on, so that it's like, safety things, so that there's no risk of um, I don't know, like battle type situation. I'm trying to create a situation or a program where these it's a collaborative effort. So again, this is one of those moments where it's like this is a still developing idea and concept, and so the words to capture it all I don't quite have yet. so so thank you for that, Grace.
Yes, I
But
got you.
no, so I'm creating a program as we speak that I'm hoping to propose that and that incorporates elements of both custody and mental health
Okay.
that will because here's the thing, like for me, like I can fact of the matter is like I'm a woman, I'm a white woman, and while I feel as though that's not a problem when it comes to like connecting one on one, there's still something about it coming from a man
Mm-hmm.
and or a person of color.
Mm.
So I am recruiting my husband,
Right.
who's both of those things,
Right.
and is also so emotionally regulated and conscious that because some of these people they're hijacking the group and they're talking about like old patterns and glorifying them, and that's what we don't want to start becoming like the subject matter of. So
Right.
um people like my husband and then a couple other select few that
Right.
were like recruiting, they'll be the guardrails. They'll be both there for safety and security purposes, and then also um, providing that energy that like only, I don't know, just kind of bridging the gap between this weird dynamic of inmate custody, um, and bringing that masculine energy that I'm not able to convey in the work that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Not to diminish the value of the work that I do, but like there's I'm there's just something different about it coming from somebody like him that I'm not able to articulate why, but like both like our souls recognize and understand and are aligned with that
Right. Right.
idea. So it'll help to raise the awareness,
Okay.
the consciousness, the emotional intelligence, like just the in a way that will, and he can like kind of help harness. He knows how to harness it.
Okay.
So it'll challenge them without challenging their ego so that they respond in a way that will result in some sort of, negative behavior, or, we want to guide it. And he's asking for it, so let's give it to him.
Right, right, exactly. And I know it's a lot of things that we cannot discuss, but this platform is just to, inspire and show my community that no matter what you're going through in life and no matter who you are, it doesn't take a lot to try to help someone. And what you're doing is helping them young men try to navigate through the difficult times of, growing up and they didn't have guardrails. They were just all over the place, like myself. I saw a lot of stuff growing up in California, in Southern California. My mom dying of AIDS, and crack baby, which was a lot of people in the '80s story, and then Skid Row and homeless, and all reasons why to become a nobody in this life. But I took all that and used it as fuel. And I had a good father. And some of these, I remember when I was speaking to them on Friday, a lot of them didn't have fathers in their lives, and a lot of them
Hmm.
didn't have mothers. So they didn't have no great examples of how to even navigate through anything. I was blessed to have one, which was my father, just to say, hey, have hope. um, I love the work that you continue to push, because I know it's, you fighting an uphill battle, because that system been around for years. My nephew is doing 80 years in prison right now. They put him in
Right.
prison at 16 years old with grown men. I didn't think that was like I didn't think that was good at all. But the state of Texas deemed that it was right, and we still fight it to this day. He's 25 right now. 25. He's been in since 2017, 18. So we deal with that every day. He calls home. So these are real life situations. I don't necessarily have to go visit, but having family members, and mom was in jail, and uncles and all these people like incarcerated, just a community. And when they come home, we don't have anything for them but halfway houses that, quote unquote, that hey, we're going to do this for you, but we're just harboring them to get paid so we can send them back in the world, and but possibly crash out. And if
Count
the
on it.
yes, and the correctional
They
center,
count on you to crash out.
right, right, so they
They
can
make
come
their
back
money.
and make the money. Yeah, we know that it's a business. But
Crazy.
it's a huge business. But what you're doing is showing them and helping them. And if they didn't have a Monica, I'm sure they'll be in a whole world of pain. And also too, you said what they call them, the Corrigan Cowboys. So
Yeah.
you guys are really like passionate about the guys over there, and I love it. And that's what draw me to them, because a lot of people like that don't have people who care about them. They don't even care. They already counted out. They didn't even think we were showing up Friday to go speak for them. And when we spoke for them, it was like, wow, he looked like me. Yeah, come on, we can do this. But guess what? If nobody else told you in your life that I love you and I'm proud of you, that's it. And that's all they wanted to hear, is somebody that cares for them. And that's basically at the lowest level. That's all we doing for these people. And that's what I do around the world as a motivational speaker, a life coach, a podcast, is just try to inspire and say, you know what, at the lowest level, I love you and I care for you and I'm proud of you. And how can I help? And if I can't help you, let me point you to somebody like a Monica Reynoso, like a Calvin Reynoso, holistic, like they do the work. And if they can't help you, they're gonna point you to somebody that's, what I'm saying, more incredible than them. But at the end of the day, that's why we do what we do. And I support that. And let's talk about, like, I have some questions that I had drew up for you real quick to see if we can, what I'm saying, ask a little of these right here real quick. Just like from your perspective, what are the most understood mental health struggles faced by these incarcerated individuals that outside world rarely talks about?
Um, I mean, I feel like the common denominator in people who are incarcerated, and the families and loved ones of people who are incarcerated, is unresolved trauma, you know? Um, I mean, it's certainly, I don't know a single person who I've worked with who doesn't have any, who I even know doesn't have some form of unresolved trauma. And so I think understanding the root cause of traumas, and what generational trauma is, and your nervous system, and understanding what your shadow is, and ego, what all of those things are, and really just like understanding it, getting to know it, because that's that's a lot of the work. And learning that those shadows and triggers, those those are blessings, dude. If you getting triggered is a blessing because that's that's a mirror. Like that's you a reflection of whatever it is that you need to work on. You know? Where's your car wound? Well, your trigger's going to help you find it.
Yeah, exactly.
And anger, tracing anger back to its root cause,
Hmm.
that'll tell you all you need to know
Everything you need to know.
about like where you need to heal.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. I'm glad you talked about that because I think I talked about that with my emotional intelligence is triggers. Acknowledge what triggers you. You know what I'm saying? From coming from urban areas in the hood and all that, it's a lot of things. We're triggered by a lot of things that maybe the regular person ain't. But growing up there, like somebody say your mama, like it's you set it off. The whole I'm gonna burn the whole world down. You talk about my mom. You know what I'm saying? Because that's trauma. So I know it's politics growing up in the hood. So all that stuff is triggers. And if we don't focus on that and you teaching that inside the facilities, like, hey, you know what? We talking about emotional intelligence, but how is your triggers? Can we talk about your inner child? Can we talk about what makes you mad? How do you feel when you're sad, when you're angry, when you're happy, when you're nervous? Because you saw when I gave that speech to them two groups, they went through a series of emotions. First of all, the second group, they wasn't messing with your boy, but after a while, everybody wanted to, what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
partake into it. But it took the time. They didn't know me. I didn't know them. Sometimes you get these people that want to help, and they get paid a bunch of money, but they ain't really helping. Like I understand. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. Like, okay, who are you? So, but it took them some time. But when they warmed up, it was game time, and that was just a remarkable experience. Can you tell me, from your standpoint in the bleachers, you was telling me at the house how you saw, the levels and all of things. Can we talk about that before we end the show?
So I don't want to go into detail specifically about that because I don't want to call out anybody that
No, no, no. Just
but like
maybe.
it
Yeah,
was definitely from the vantage point that I had, and it was like a panoramic view.
yeah.
Um, I definitely was able to see those who you know very clearly are trying to ascend, and
Mm,
those who so very clearly are doomed to descend.
right.
Um, and I'm talking about staff.
Yeah.
The inmates, I thought it was beautiful. It was beautiful, like really and truly, like it was nice to see them see what is possible.
Mm,
Um, and I forgot to there's like something one thing I forgot to even mention is the fact that I'm getting my doctorate in social work right now.
yeah.
And so like I mentioned earlier that like people aren't really paying attention to what I'm doing. Well, getting my doctorate's going to probably help a little bit with getting that notice because that's like I plan to implement all of these things on a much larger scale,
Let's do
not
it.
just within my facility, but like state, you
Mhm.
know? And so where was I going with that though? There was shoot, there was something else I was going to say about that and I forgot. Crap. I forgot what it was.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
You have done, what I'm saying, a remarkable job, and I think that sometimes you do a lot of work in the dark, and you play a huge part in the background, in the shadows. You really
Mhm.
embrace the darkness, and we think dark is bad, but no, you like. I wish I had a you,
That's
and
where you find the answers.
but I wish I had a you as a counselor, like in my school, or to talk to and say, you know what, she don't like she never came from there, but how this person that never even came from here understand how we feel. That's all we want to be. And I say we as a culture, growing up in the hood, is like we just want to be heard. We just want to be seen. We're not bad people at all, but at the end of the day, we go through some things that we need to understand, and we don't recognize the triggers. then we're gonna, I think, capitalize off of them because we were taught only a few things: who the hardest, who the toughest, who could do this, who could do. But it wasn't no emotional intelligence. It wasn't business class. It wasn't just regulating your triggers. It wasn't none of that. It was like, okay, who teach you how to fight? Who all these things, sell drugs, game bang, all these things that come from these lower levels. But what you're teaching is very high value, and we, as the motivators table, we appreciate it because you got this chance to sit at the table and really tell your story. I know it's not everything, but I needed the world to hear with my best friend and both you guys come together. Where are we getting this stuff from? It's not just me. I'm not just the only, and don't take this wrong, chat. I'm not the only weirdo. Like my friends, we are all weird, and we embrace that weirdness because when we come together, it's really like the Matrix. It's really like the Avengers. It's really like, hey, this is what it is. You're gonna trust us. You're gonna believe us, and we're gonna do what we got to do. So, I got one more question for you before we end this, real quick. Can you tell me? There's one more question. As a both licensed social worker and you're holistic, how do you blend your clinical practice with the holistic approaches inside a correctional setting? Let's keep it under 2 minutes, and then we'll go from there.
I'll easily keep that under 2 minutes. I don't even really, so holistic, I don't even know if I would call it that. It's trauma informed, consciousness based.
Yeah.
You know, returning to the wholeness of who this person is, beyond what their worst moment was.
Mm.
Um, you know, I'm so distracted because there is a beam of sunlight coming through
You're
that's like,
glowing. You're
I
glowing.
swear, like landing right on my face right now. It's
It's perfect. It was
crazy.
supposed to happen like that. Look
I
at you.
know,
Think about
right?
the conscious base. Look at me. Now I'm in the light. You know what I'm saying? Look at thank you, God. Look at
No,
you.
just, coming from a place, like, give people grace, man. Like, this isn't easy. Like, we've been living in this crazy matrix where there's like this hierarchical system of control and power and everything. And people are starting to wake up. They're starting to see through it. And I feel like the carceral system is man, that's where you're gonna find the answer. We're cracking the code
Mm.
there.
Let's continue to do it.
Seriously, like that is a living prototype for like what is possible, or like what, I don't know.
I love
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, hey, listen, it's the reason why we had this powerful conversation. And when I was around you guys the other day, I was like, "You're definitely Trinity, and he's Neo, and I'm like Morpheus, and we just figuring this thing out and putting one and two together and trying to come up with an equation to help more, to save more." I told you when I was there, I said I just put on Cerebro, and I try to connect all the other mutants out there, like the ones that feel like us from the inside out and the outside in. And we have such big hearts, and you watched me go through one of my worstest downfalls during bankruptcy. We don't get too much into it, but you came to my aid when I was going to go do something, not emotional intelligence. I was going to end myself somewhere behind them walls because I had enough of the betrayals and all these things. And I just want to thank you for just coming and just standing in the gap and being there for me, because if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be right here on Los Angeles Tribune podcasting the Motivators Table, talking to my best friend's wife. I would have been in there trying to make one day a week calls to you guys and just hope that someone picks up the phone. So I appreciate it because there's two sides to the spectrum. There's the prisoners, there's the correctional officers, and then there's one more side. That's you. You right there. You're not a correctional officer. You are right there in the gap with these gentlemen, trying to put help them with their wounds and clear conversations. And I want to tell you, thank you, and I appreciate you, and I love you. Tell the world in my chat, in my community, where we can find you at, your social medias, and then I pick it up from there.
Oh my god, I don't know my social media. I can on Instagram I'm momo.reynoso.
Okay.
On LinkedIn, Monica Reynoso LCSW.
Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Well
Anything?
candidate. Woo, woo.
Yeah, hey, I know you better put. Hey, listen. You better say it loud. And also too, leave us with a little motivation. Leave us with something you
Oh my
believe.
God, no, you can't put that kind of pressure on me.
You
I'm
always
not,
give me some
I'm
words of
not
encouragement.
going to.
No pressure, no pressure. Hey, world, thank you guys for tuning in and listening to the Motivators Table. Hey, I'm signed to Los Angeles Tribune. I appreciate everybody, my new community, my old community, and all my new followers that I'm having. Thank you for tapping in with me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to film season 3 on the Riverside. Thank you them for letting me use their platform. Thank you, Miss Monica Reynoso. Thank you for all the
Thank
work
you.
you
Love
have been
you.
doing.
Appreciate you.
Keep my boy safe, keep him sound. Y'all keep each other safe, keep each other sound. Continue to practice the modalities. That's what we use. That's the word, the modalities. And each one teach one. And I can't wait for you guys to come out with your new program. I can't wait to see you guys again. Hey, and chat, I appreciate it. But check it out. There's two animals that go through these trials and tribulations that were built for it. It was a cow, it was a bull. The cow runs from his problem. The bull runs right into the eye. Which one you want to be? Do you want to be the bull or do you want to be the cow? For a long time in my life and a long time in a lot of people's life, they're the cow. They continue running from their problems and the problems are still chasing them. Take your problem by the bull and the horns, take it through the eye, get on the other side of it, figure it out, come up with equation. Because after my bankruptcy, after that storm, I became the top number 50 motivational speakers in the world. That's why I'm here. JayR McIntyre, the Hood Motivator, Dr. McIntyre 2026. I put the work in. I will continue to put the work in. This is my channel. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Thank you, Miss Monica. Boom.